जय श्री श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतर शत शिमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतर शत शिमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतर शत शिमार श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतर शतशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतर शतशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय श्री रूपानुगौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल व्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योग माय की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवतीय एकादश स्कंद की जय श्री 11th Canto finishing day की जय श्री हरि श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय सारथ-दर्शिनी वृत्ति की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणीति नामिने नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूत हृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतं नष्टप्रयेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नायमां चरणान्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये Kripamai tvam sharanam prapana vrinde namaste charana ravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Champak Didi, Radhe Radhe, and Satya Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Yeah, oh yeah, I think yesterday I mentioned I was going to do Chaitanya Bhagavat. I wasn't thinking properly. Chaitanya Bhagavat is tomorrow. And I think I had it in my head that Chaitanya Bhagavat isn't today because I have to prepare the video still, and that's a huge job. So I just had my, anyways, that confused me. Haribol, Rasay Shri Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, and Rajbhuvan Yadav ji, Hare Krishna. And Prajumna Prabhu and Mantaramurti Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Okay, so today we are completing the 11th canto. Let's read a little recap of what we read before. Let's start from here, the last, Krishna's last instructions to Uddhav on Bhakti Yoga. Uddhav asked Krishna, kindly explain some simple method easy to execute for attaining the supreme perfection. Krishna concluded with his final instructions on bhakti as follows. He said, always remember me. Perform all duties for me with mind and intelligence offered to me. Take shelter of holy places and be guided by the exemplary activities of my devotees. Celebrate the holy days by devotional singing and dancing. With a pure heart, see me to be both unblemished by anything material and also present everywhere. One who sees me in all living entities and offers due respect to everyone is considered actually wise. Till then, one must continue to worship my deity with speech, mind, and body. I recommend bhakti to be the best possible method of spiritual enlightenment. Since I have personally established it, this process is transcendental, free from material motivations, and certainly there is no loss on this path. This process is of supreme intelligence and diligence, for by following it, one can in this very life attain me. Hearing the elaborate teachings of Krishna that establish the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga, Uddhav gratefully offered his prayers. Then Krishna instructed Uddhav to go to Badarikashram, assuring him that he will soon come back to him. Uddhav circumambulated Krishna, fell at his lotus feet, and drenched his feet with tears. Greatly pained by separation from Krishna, Uddhav honored Krishna's slippers by respectfully placing them upon his head, and then departed to Badarikashram. Disappearance of the divine dynasty. Thereafter, observing many disturbances in Dvaraka, Lord Krishna addressed the Yadus. Please see these terrible omens which appear like flags of death. We should not remain here even for a moment. Let us go to Prabhas Kshetra and perform auspicious rituals and worship the Brahmanas. Consenting, the Yadus crossed over the ocean on boats and then proceeded on chariots to Prabhas Kshetra. There they performed various rituals. By the will of Providence, they drank liquor and, in a delirious state, started fighting among themselves violently. When all their weapons broke, they seized the tall canes on the seashore. In their confused state, mistaking Lord Balaram as their enemy, they ran towards him, intending to kill him. Krishna and Balaram also picked up the canes and began to kill the arrogant warriors. Thus, like a forest fire which engulfs itself, all the Yadus were destroyed. And there's a footnote here. Why won't it let me click on it? There. Whatever. Balaram then fixed himself in meditation and gave up this mortal world. Subsequently, Krishna also silently sat down under a pipala tree, exhibiting his effulgent four-armed form for the final pastime in this world. The hunter Jara, mistaking the Lord's foot for a deer's face, pierced the foot with his arrow, which he had fashioned from the last iron fragment from Samba's cursed club. Realizing his offense, Jara fell at the feet of the Lord, weeping in repentance. Krishna replied, "Dear Jara, don't fear, as all of this is because of my desire. You may now go to the spiritual world." The hunter circumambulated Krishna thrice, and receiving his causeless mercy, departed in a celestial airplane to the spiritual sky. At that time, Dvaraka, the chariot driver of Krishna, noticed the Lord. The Lord's chariot then rose up into the sky along with its horses and flag. All of the Lord's divine weapons also followed. Krishna then instructed Dvaraka, "Go to Dvaraka and inform everyone about the destruction of the Yadus, the disappearance of Balaram, and my current situation. You and your relatives should not remain in Dvaraka, which will soon be inundated by the ocean. Take your own families, together with my parents, and go to Indraprastha under Arjuna's protection. Be firmly situated in devotion to me and remain peaceful." Dvaraka departed with a mourning heart. I think that's where we left off with yesterday, isn't it? Let me just check. How come it won't let me go back? Yes, that is where we left off. Thus ordered, Dvaraka circumambulated the Lord and offered obeisances to him again and again. He placed Lord Krishna's lotus feet upon his head, and then, with a sad heart, went back to the city. Okay, so now we begin the last chapter, and I don't think it's very long. Let's see, how long is it? Yeah, it's only 4,000 words. Less than 4,000, 3,358. So we'll finish it today. Haribo, Mohar, and Kishore Prabhu, and Rup Manjari Didi, and Nitai. Hare Krishna. Prajumna Prabhu, as I mentioned many times before, I'm way too busy to start a new reading, especially not the Sandarbhas. Okay. Chapter 31, Flooding at Dvaraka. Shri Shuka Uvacha Ata Tatra Gamar Brahma Bhavanya Cha Samang Bhava Mahendra Pramukha Deva Munaya Sa Prajeshvara. Shukadev Goswami said, "Then Lord Brahma arrived at Prabhas, along with Lord Shiva and his consort, the sages, the Prajapatis, and all the Devatas headed by Indra." Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In the 31st chapter, the disappearance of Krishna is explained, as well as the disappearance of Devaki, Vasudeva, Rukmini, and others. Sridhar Swami explains that after arranging for the Devatas to enter into the Yadus, when he took birth, Krishna again had them return to their previous positions, and then, by his own will, he entered his spiritual abode with his spiritual body. Pitara Siddha Gandharva Vidyadhara Mahoraga Charana Yaksha Rakshangsi Kinnarap Saraso Dvija Drashtu Kama Bhagavato Niryanam Paramotsuka Gayantascha Grinantascha Shore Karmani Janma Cha. The Pitris, Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, and great serpents also came, along with the Charanas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Kinnaras, Apsaras, and relatives of Garuda, greatly eager to witness the departure of the Lord. As they were coming, all these personalities variously chanted and glorified the birth and activities of Lord Krishna. Even the Rakshasas came. Vavrishu pushpavarshani vimanavalibirnabha kurvanta sankulam rajan bhaktya paramaya yuta. O king, crowding the sky with their many airplanes, they showered flowers with great devotion. Bhagavan Pitamahan Viksha Vibhutiratmano Vibhu Samyojyatmani Chatmanam Parmanetre Nyamilayat. Seeing Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, along with the other devatas, who were his vibhutis, the Lord fixed his mind within himself and closed his eyes. Loka Bhiramam Swatanung Dharana Dhyana Mangalam Yoga Dharanayagneya Tagdva Dhama Vishatsvakam. Without performing meditation to burn up his body, which was all attractive to the world and the object of all contemplation and meditation, Lord Krishna entered into his abode. Sārārtha-darśinī. The statements of the previous verse, this verse, and later verses, as well cannot be taken as being literally true. Sridhar Swami explains that the Lord rejected the erroneous process of dying at will, which is practiced by yogis. He did not burn up his body by meditating on fire, because his body was attractive to all people and was the object of contemplation and meditation. Others explain the verse as follows. Taking his body, which is pure like gold, as if being taken from fire after heating it without being burned up, he entered his abode. The meaning is that the Lord showed doubtful persons that his body could not be burned. The nature of the Lord's body may be explained by the following verse. Vahni madhe smararupam mamaitar dhyana mangalam samam prashantam sumukham dirgacharu chatur bhujam. This is from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11:14-37. Placing my form within the fire, one should meditate upon the auspicious object of all meditation. That form has harmonious limbs, is gentle and cheerful. It possesses 4 beautiful long arms. Devi dundu bhayo nedhu petu sumanasaschakat satyam dharmo dhritir bhume kirti shrish chanutam yayu. Truth, dharma, determination, fame, and beauty immediately followed him. Kettle drums resounded in the heavens, and flowers showered from the sky. Sārārtha-darśinī. Truth and other qualities departed, so that various bad qualities could become prominent in Kali Yuga. Devadayo Brahma Mukhya Navishantam Sadamani Avigyata Gatim Krishnam Tadrishushchati Vismita. The Devatas, headed by Brahma, could not see Krishna in his Narayan expansion as he entered Vaikuntha. And there's a footnote here. It says, as explained in the commentaries on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the first chapter of 11th Canto, verse 4, and the 6th chapter of 11th Canto, verse 26. It explains in the commentaries there that the Narayan expansion went to Prabhas and departed for Vaikuntha, whereas Krishna and Balaram actually remained in Dvaraka. Some, however, saw. It says the Devatas headed by Brahma could not see Krishna in his Narayana expansion as he entered Vaikuntha. Some, however, saw this with amazement. Sārārtha-darśinī. When the Lord disappeared, even those with all knowledge wondered where he went. Brahma and other Devatas did not see Krishna going to his abode. Some persons, however, did see and were amazed. Just checking the comments, 1 second. Sodamanya yatha klashe yantya hitva brahmandalam gatirna lakshyate martyais tata krishnasya daivatai. Just as ordinary men cannot ascertain the path of a lightning bolt as it leaves a cloud, the Devatas could not trace out the destination of Lord Krishna. Brahmarudra dayastetu drishtva yogam gatim hare vismitastam prashanksanta swang sam lokam yayustada. A few of the Devatas, however, notably Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, could ascertain that the Lord's mystic power was working, and thus they became astonished. All the Devatas praised the Lord's mystic power and then returned to their own planets. Sārārtha-darśinī. An example is given to show that they could not see the Lord's destination. Just as the destination of lightning cannot be seen by humans, the destination of Krishna as he left the earth could not be perceived by the Devatas. But his associates could see. This is Sridhar Swami's explanation. Having come from Vaikuntha, from the Karana ocean and the milk ocean, when Krishna had appeared, the associates each now thought, "I am bringing my Lord to my abode." But each could not see the other by the Lord's Yogamaya. Thus, the Lord went to those abodes with those associates who were delighted. It should be understood that when the Lord appeared on earth, the associates of these Vishnu forms also appeared amongst the Yadus, along with their masters, the Vishnu forms. These associates returned to their places along with the Vishnu forms, and when these associates returned to their places along with the Vishnu forms when Krishna departed from this world. The Devatas were astonished. "We thought that we were masters of yoga, but we cannot understand where he went." They praised Krishna. "Who can do such a thing? We are omniscient, but cannot understand this. Though we are masters of yoga, we cannot see his destination achieved by his yoga. But his associate devotees know. They can see his destination that he has entered his abode." Rajan parasya tanubrij jananapyayeha maya vidambanamavehi yatha natasya srishtvatmanedam anuvishya vihritya chante sanghritya chatma mahino parata saaste. O King, you should understand that the Supreme Lord's appearance and disappearance, which resemble those of embodied conditioned souls, are actually a show enacted by his illusory energy, just like the performance of an actor. After creating this illusion, he entered into it, played within it for some time, and at last destroyed it, withdrawing from it by his own power. Thus he remains. Oh, my Param Gurudev quoted this verse in a really awesome article in Raise of the Harmonists, talking about the disappearance of a Mahabhagavat. Sārārtha-darśinī. Parikshit was sad that all people saw the Lord and his associates in this superficial way. Shukadev comforted him by explaining the true nature of the Lord's pastimes. Understands that the birth and death activities of the Lord, which are like those of the jiva, are actually a resemblance to the jiva's life produced by Maya. Those actions are not real. The birth and death of the jiva, who has a body made of semen, blood, and so on, is full of suffering. The appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Lord, who has a spiritual body, is full of bliss. It is said, Devakyam Devarupinyam Vishnu Sarva Guhashraya Avirasir Yata Prachyam Dishindur Iva Pushkala. The Supreme Lord, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, just like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Krishna. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.3.8. So, Svashanta-rupesh vitarai sarupair abhyardhyamanesh vanukampitatma paravaresho maharangsha yukto hyajo pijato bhagavan yatagni. Being compassionate in mind, when his devotees are afflicted by the demons, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, though not having material birth, appears within this world along with all his Vishnu expansions, since he is the Lord of all forms of God, and Devatas. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.2.15. Krishna Dyumani Nimloche. Krishna has disappeared like the sun. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.2.7. Pradarsyaptap tapasan avitripta drisham drinam adhayantar adharyastu sabimbam lokalochanam. The Lord, having shown his form, the center of attraction for all eyes, then took that form and disappeared from the men who had not performed austerities, but had attained the Lord's mercy and were continually craving a vision of his form. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3.2.11. Anadeyam aheyam cha rupam bhagavato hare avirbhavatiro bhavav asyokte grahamochane. Nothing can be added to or subtracted from the Lord's form. His appearance and disappearance are said to be simply coming into this world and leaving it. That's from the Brahmanda Puran. Though sometimes the Lord appears and disappears like a jiva, this is only an appearance produced by Maya. It is like the actions of a magician. Though it is false, the magician can show his or someone else's birth and death. Some exhibit death as follows. Oh, my Gurudev would tell this story all the time. In front of a king, a magician approaches a stack of valuable garments, jewels, coins, and so forth, given by the king. Taking a jeweled necklace, the magician tells the king, "Now I am taking this necklace and you can't have it. Now I'm taking this gold coin and you can't have it. I am taking 7,000 horses and you cannot have them." Then the magician creates the illusion that the king's children, grandchildren, brothers, and other family members have attacked each other with weapons, and that nearly all are dead from the violent quarrel. The king observes these things taking place before him as he sits in the great assembly hall. The magician says, "O king, I no longer wish to live. Just as I have studied magic, so also, by the mercy of the lotus feet of my guru, I have learned the mystic meditation of yoga. One is supposed to give up one's body while meditating in a holy place. I will die in front of you, you who are a holy place yourself." Thus speaking, the magician sits down in a swastika asana, fixes himself in pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi in silence. A moment later, a strong fire generated by his trance blazes forth out of his body and burns it to ashes. Then all the wives of the magician, distraught with lamentation, enter into that fire. 3 or 4 days later, after the magician has returned to his own province, he sends a letter to the king. "O king, invisibly taking all your sons, grandsons, and brothers who are in good health, along with all the jewels and other items given by you, I have come to my house in good health. Please, therefore, give me whatever you consider as a fitting remuneration for the wisdom of the magic that has been exhibited before you. In this way, even by ordinary magic, one can simulate death. My Gurudev explained this a little bit differently. Anyways, basically, same kind of story. This example is explained in the verse. I alone have created this confusion of quarrel and fighting with weapons arising from the sage's curse. And following that, I have entered into the scene and played with mortals for a moment by taking up the reeds. Then I withdrew from that show by my own powers and now remain separate. Just checking the comments. Okay. Martena yo guru sutang yamaloka nitang. Oh God, I think the meter is different. Martena yo guru sutam yamal. No. Martena yo guru sutam yamaloka nitam tam chanayachcharanada paramastra dagdam jigentakantakamapi shamasavanisha kim swavane swaranayan mrigayum sadeham. Lord Krishna brought the son of his guru back from the planet of death in the boy's self-same body, and as the ultimate giver of protection, he saved you also when you were burned by the weapon of Ashvatthama. This is Shukadev speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. He conquered in battle even Lord Shiva, who deals death to the agents of death, and he sent the hunter Jara directly to Vaikuntha in his human body. How could such a personality be unable to protect himself? Sārārtha-darśinī. By remembering the Lord's extraordinary activities, one must completely give up misconceptions concerning his disappearance. The Lord brought the son of his guru who had gone to Yamaloka back to this world in the self-same body which he had acquired at the time of his birth and which had been devoured by the Panchajana demon. It was not a different body strong with power of Brahman. The Lord who gave you shelter rescued you through your body. The Lord who gave you shelter rescued you, though your body had been burned by the Brahmastra. Actually, you are destined to die by two Brahmastras, the curse of a Brahman, Ashvatthama, the curse of Brahman, Ashvatthama at birth, and at death by the Brahman boy. What more can be said? The Lord defeated Shiva, who is death to death. The Lord defeated Shiva, who is death to death givers, in the battle of Banasura. And the Lord let the hunter Jara go to a special Vaikuntha in his same body. How can the Lord not be capable of protecting the Yadus? You, the Lord, certainly can. Oh God, that was confusing. I guess now he's addressing the Lord. You are fully capable of remaining eternally visible in this world, along with your associates. Tatapya shesha stiti sambhavapyayesh yayayesh anyahitur no, different meter. Tatapya shesha stiti sambhavapyayesh ananyahitur yarashesha shakti dhik naichat pranetum vapuratra sheshitam martena king swasta gatim pradarshayan. Although Lord Krishna, being the possessor of infinite powers, is the only cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of innumerable planets, he did not desire to remain within this with his manifested pastimes on earth. What is the use of this mortal world or its people? But he made known his destination to the Devatas. Sārārtha-darśinī. Even though the Lord has unlimited powers, still he has acted in this way. His unlimited power is described. He is the only cause of creation, maintenance, and destruction of unlimited planets. But he is indifferent, though he is the only cause, because he acts through his unlimited Shaktis. Having dispatched the Devatas to Swarga, he did not desire to remain visible on earth with his associates. Pranetum vapusheshitam. In other words, he desired to disappear. Why? What is the use of this mortal world for the Lord? He did not care for the material world, but he cared for Svargaloka. By the request of those on Swarga, such as Brahma, the Lord appeared in this mortal world, and at their request alone, he went to Vaikuntha. This is the implication of the statement. He made known his going to Vaikuntha to Brahma and others situated in Swarga and other planets. Other explanations are not accepted by the devotees, since they are the opinions of demons and contradict Uddhav's statement, Pradarshya tapasan avitripta drishandranam adayantaradhadyastu swabimbam lokalochanam. The Lord, having shown his form, the center of attraction for all eyes, then took that form and disappeared from the men who had not performed austerities but had attained the Lord's mercy, and were continually craving a vision of his form. That's from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:11. Uddhav has also said that the opinions of the demons should not be accepted by devotees. Devasya mayaya sprishta ye chanyar asadashrita brahmyate dhir natar vyakyar atmanyutapmanoharo. The intelligence of the devotee who is absorbed in Paramatma is not bewildered by the words of those touched by the Lord's Maya or those who take shelter of a demoniac mentality. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:10. Ya etam pratarutaya krishnasya padavim param prayata kirtayer bhaktya tam evapnut tanuttamam. Oops, that was the verse, I forgot to sing it. Anyways, this is verse 14. Anyone who regularly rises early in the morning and carefully chants with devotion the glories of Lord Krishna's completely spiritual method of disappearance will certainly achieve that same supreme destination. Sārārtha-darśinī. Padavim means the path of disappearing. By using the words param and anuttamam, it is indicated that the pastime of the Lord's disappearance is completely composed of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. It suggests that intelligent people regard the opinion of common people that his disappearance was material to be insignificant. One second, just want to drink some water. Okay. Hare Krishna, Amit Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Oh wow, Kishore said that he heard that the story about the magician is actually true. Srila Viśvanātha heard about it and used it as an example. Neat. Daruko Dvarakam etya Vasudevo grasenayo patitva charanavasrair nyashish chach, or is it nyashin chach? Krishna Vichuta. Should I look that up? I will. One second. Whatever. Yes, see, I was right. That should be N, not an S. Okay. Nyashinchat Krishnavichuta. Okay. As soon as Dvaraka reached Dwarka, he threw himself at the feet of Vasudev and Ugrasena and drenched their feet with his tears, lamenting the loss of Lord Krishna. Katayam asanidhanam vrishninam kritsnasho nripa tachrutvo dvigna hridaya jana shoka vimurchita tatrasma tvarita jagmo krishna vishlesha vivala vyasava sherate yatra gyatayo gnanta ananam. O Parikshit, Daruka delivered the full account of the destruction of the Vrishnis, and upon hearing this, the people became deeply distraught in their hearts and stunned with sorrow. Feeling the overwhelming pain of separation from Krishna, beating their heads, they went to the place where their relatives lay dead. Oh my God, this is heavy. Sārārtha-darśinī. The portions of the eternal associates of Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and others had previously gone from Dwarka to Prabhas. Portions of Devaki, Rohini, and other eternal associates then went to Prabhas on hearing the news. The main portions of Devaki and others remained in Dwarka, not visible to the eyes of common people. Devaki Rohini Chaiva Vasudevas Tata Suto Krishna Rama Vapashyanta Shokarta Vijahu Smritam. When Devaki, Rohini, and Vasudev could not find their sons, Krishna and Ram, they lost consciousness out of pain caused by their sorrow. Pranangscha Vijahus Tatra Bhagavad Virahatura Upaguya Patingstata Chitam Aruruhu Striya. Tormented by separation from the Lord, his parents gave up their lives at that very spot. My dear Parikshit, the wives of the Yadavas then climbed onto the funeral pyres, embracing their dead husbands. Sārārtha-darśinī. This description should be explained to be superficial and not actual fact. Okay, so this is, although this is extremely sad, just know that this is actually not factual. This is just what happened on a surface level. As we read in the previous commentary, Devaki and Rohini and so on, Vasudev, they all went back, they all stayed in Dwarka in imperceivable forms. So this is all just a show. Patnyashadhadeham upaguhyagnimavishan Vasudeva patnyastad gatram pradyumnadin hare. Oh, this is a different meter. Anyways, Snusha Krishna. I'm going to look at how to do this one. 20, because this book's all messed up. Okay, got it. Rama patnyashchata deham upaguhyagnimavishan Vasudeva patnyastar gatra Vasudeva patnyastar gatram pradyumnadim hareshnusha Krishna patno visham agnem rukminyadyas. The wives of Lord Balaram, embracing his body, also entered the fire. Vasudev's wives, embracing his body, entered his fire. The daughters-in-law of the Lord, Hari, entered the funeral fires of their respective husbands, headed by Pradyumna. And Rukmini and the other wives of Lord Krishna, whose hearts were completely absorbed in him, entered the fire. Arjuna presa sakyo Krishnasya virahatura Atmanam santvayam asa Krishna Gitai Saruktibhi. Arjuna felt great distress over separation from Lord Krishna, his dear friend. But he consoled himself by remembering the pure words the Lord had sung to him. One second. Bandhunam nashtagotranam Arjuna samparayikam Hatanam karayam asa Yatha vad anapurvashaha. Arjuna then saw to it that the funeral rites were properly carried out for the dead who had no remaining male family members according to the rules. He saw that these funeral rites were properly carried out according to the rules, one after another. Dvarakam harina tyaktam samudra plavayat kshanat varjayitva maharaja Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As soon as Dvaraka was abandoned by the Supreme Lord, the ocean flooded it on all sides, O king, sparing only his palace. Sārārtha-darśinī. The Lord's palace was spared. As the next verse states, the Lord is eternally present there. This statement is the view of the Lord, who is present in the palace in unmanifest pastimes, not the view of the common people. This is how some explain that the palace remained. Others explained that the ocean flooded Dvaraka, but not the palaces of the Yadavas, to show how everything except the Lord is temporary. Nityam sanehitas tatra Bhagavan Madhusudana Smritya shesha shubhaharam sarva mangala mangalam. Lord Madhusudan, the Supreme Lord, is eternally present in Dvaraka. By remembering that most auspicious of all auspicious places, one destroys all contamination. Stri bala vridanadaya hatta sheshan dhananjaya Indra prastam samavesha vajram tatra vyashechayat. Arjuna took the survivors of the Yadu dynasty, the women, children, and old men, to Indraprastha and installed Vajra as ruler of the Yadus. Shrutva suhridvadam rajan Arjunat te pitamaha Tvang tu vangsha dharam kritva Jagmo sarve mahapatham. Hearing from Arjuna of the death of their friends, my dear king, your grandfathers established you as the maintainer of the dynasty and left to prepare for their departure from this world. Ya etad deva devasya Vishnu karmani janmacha Kirtayet shraddhaya martya Sarva papai pramuchate. A person who with faith engages in chanting the glories of these various pastimes and birth of Krishna, the Lord of Lords, will be free from all sins. Sārārtha-darśinī. 2 verses describe the result of chanting the pastimes of Krishna from the beginning. Okay, this is the last verse, verse 28, last verse of this is the last verse of the 11th canto. Itam harir bhagavato ruchiravatara viryani balacharitani cha shantamani anyatra cheha cha shrutani grinan manusho Bhaktim param paramaham sagato labheta. The auspicious exploits of the attractive incarnations of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and also the pastimes he performed as a child in Vrindavan, are described in this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other scriptures. Anyone who clearly chants these descriptions of his pastimes will attain supreme bhakti to Lord Krishna, who is the goal of perfect sages. Sārārtha-darśinī. Bala is defined as the age up to 16 according to many persons. Thus, the pastimes in Vrindavan are the most blissful. These are described in the Bhagavatam and in other Puranas. One will attain supreme bhakti, prem. The commentary on the 31st chapter of the 11th canto, called Sārārtha-darśinī, written for bringing joy to the minds of the devotees, according to the previous authorities, has been completed on the Saptami Tithi of Agrahayan. This is completed on the Saptami Tithi of Agrahayan month at Govardhan. May this commentary make the Lord pleased with me. I've revealed my ignorance in explaining things. Though others may laugh, my goal is to please the devotees. Thus ends the 11th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the Sārārtha-darśinī commentary of Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. How does he end each one of his things? For some reason it's not showing here. Let's see. Thus ends the commentary on the 31st chapter of the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. Thus ends the 11th canto. Jai Shri Ekadasha Skanda Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Wow, what a way to end the 11th canto. So heavy. So maybe since we're finishing the 11th canto today, maybe we should do something special, like sing a kirtan. Which one would be good to sing? Maybe should we sing Pralaya Payodi Jale Dritavan Asivedam? That's kind of long. Anyways, let me know. I'm going to open up the songbook file while I wait for you guys to give me a suggestion. Hari Bol Satya Mataji. Kishore says, yeah. So that means, yeah, I should sing Pralaya Payodi Jale, right? Where do I have? I forgot. Oh, maybe I put it in here. Yes. Okay, let's find it. Pralaya. Okay, so we'll sing this because we began with. Right, let me just check to make sure everybody's in agreement. Okay, Pujamra also says yes. So let's sing this. I'm just getting my mridanga. So, Shri Dash Avatar Stotram by Shri Jayadev Goswami. Pralaya Payodi Jale Dritavana Sivedam Vihita Vahitra Charitamakedam Keshavadrita Mina Sharira Jai Jagadesha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Kshitiriha vipulatare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharanakina chakrakarishte keshavadrita kurma sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna shashini kalankaka levani magna keshavadrita shukara rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Tava kara kamala vare nakam arbhuta shringam dalita hiranya kashiputanu bringam keshavadrita narahari rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Chalayasi vikramane balimarbhuta vaman paranakani rajanita janapavan keshavadrita vamana rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Kshatriya rudhira maye jagarapagata papa snapayasi payasi shamita bhavatapam keshavadrita bhrigopati rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vitarasi dikshurane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukhamoli balim ramaniyam keshavadrita rama sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vahasi vapushi vishade vasanam jala dabam halahati bhiti milita yamunabham keshavadrita haladhara rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Nindasiya gyavider ahaha shruti jata sadaya hridaya darshita pashughatam keshavadrita buddha sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Mlecha nivahani dhane kalayasi karavala dhumaketumeva kemapi karalam keshavadrita kalki sharira. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Shri Jaya Deva Kaveri Damuditamudara Shrinu Shubhadam Sukadam Bhavasaram Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa Keshavadrita Dashavidarupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Ho Keshavadrita Mina Sharira Keshavadrita Mina Sharira Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira Keshavadrita Shokara Rupa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Keshavadrita Brigupati Rupa Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Keshavadrita Kalki Sharira Keshavadrita Dashavida Rupa Jai Jagarisha Hare Jai Jagarisha Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Dasha Avatar Jaya Dasha Avatar Jaya Dasha Avatari Jaya Krishna Chandra Dasha Avatari Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Jaya Sachinandan Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishvam Vishnupad Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Gurudeva Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishvam Vishnupad Rashata Shishmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishvam Vishnupad Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishvam Vishnupad Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishvam Vishnupad Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishwa Maha-Bhagavat Srila Gorkishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishwa Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura Ki Jai Nityalapa Vishwa Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nugogoriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Padadas Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Raya Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Srila Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai, Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīmad-Bhāgavati Ekadasha Skanda ki jai, Shri Uddhav Gita ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura ki jai, Sārārtha-darśinī vritti ki jai, Shri Uddhav Gita ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashachai Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in all these readings of the 11th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I definitely wouldn't have gotten through all of this without you, because I'm not so motivated on my own, but since I have to keep on showing up because you're all there waiting for me, it keeps me motivated to get through everything. So I'm really grateful to all of you. And I am... Oh, tomorrow is Sunday. So Sundays is for Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm just now, as you can see here, I'm just preparing... Where is it? I'm preparing the video right now. See? And so I'll be making that go live on my Vine of Devotion YouTube channel at 7:30, our normal time. And then the day after tomorrow, oh, and tomorrow is also, it's a special day. It's Purnima, Snan Yatra. Also the disappearance of Mukunda Datta and Sridhar Pandit. So I don't know if I'll be able to get time to read about them sometime later tomorrow. Maybe I won't, so you might have to read about them on your own. Maybe I will though, so we'll just see what happens. And then the day after tomorrow, I am going to Kolkata with my cousin Manjari and Chandrasekhar. I'll be going to Kolkata, and then I'll spend one night there, and then I'm going to go to Tiwaripur for 2 days, the 7th and 8th. No, I'm leaving on the 6th. I'll arrive in Tiwaripur on the 7th. I'll stay one night, and then on the 8th evening, I'll return back to Kolkata. And so then I'll be back in Kolkata on the 9th. And then I think I'm going to stay in Kolkata for a week, maybe till the 16th. Because, yeah, just to give company to this really nice brahmachari who is... Anyways, that's a whole story. But, yeah, and then... did I say give company? That sounds so arrogant. I mean, just so that this brahmachari isn't alone, because he's a bit lonely there. And then, yeah, so I guess I won't be going live, because remember when I was in Kolkata, the connection was really bad. So probably for a while now, it's going to be all pre-recorded videos, unfortunately. It's nice to do it live so that I can actually interact with you. But actually, when I do pre-record videos, I still go on the chat when the video starts, so I can see everybody who's there, and I can still interact with all of you. So, it won't be fully, yeah. And then let me just show you 1 second. The 12th canto is not very long at all. Look at this. Let me just delete this. The 11th canto, the 12th canto is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 13 chapters. And the chapters are not very long either. Only one chapter in here is long. It's 7,000 words, which also isn't that long. And the rest, some of these we could do 2 in one day even. Like this is only 2,000 words and another 2,000 words. We could totally do these two, the first and second chapter in one day. And then, so we're going to be completing this very soon. And then as you've heard me mention quite a few times now, that I will be going to, oh yes, please make a video showing Tiwaripur. Well, if you've noticed on my Facebook page, I've been trying to post videos and photos every single day. I started that on Akshaya Tritiya, so I'll definitely be showing. I need to get my daily photo in there, so you'll be seeing definitely the days when I'm there. Yes. What was I saying? Oh yeah. And as you've heard me mention a few times before, we will be starting the Chaitanya Bhagavat. We'll be starting from the beginning again, and doing a daily reading. 6 days a week, because 1 day a week I do the reading on Vine of Devotion, and then 6 days a week on my personal YouTube channel, I will be reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat. And I really want to think of how to do this Chaitanya Bhagavat reading, because I want the Chaitanya Bhagavat to be more interactive. So we have to think of a good form, like what would be a good way to do it. Maybe it could be on Zoom, and I can still make it go live I think on Zoom you can still stream it on YouTube for those who don't want to join on Zoom. And then maybe we can take turns reading, or maybe I just read through a section and at the end we can discuss it for a bit. I'd like to get really into summarization, so that like maybe people can take turns summarizing what they've understood from the chapter. Like, I don't know. We can memorize the main verses. I'm open to ideas, but I want to make this a little bit more, dynamic, the Chaitanya Bhagavat readings, and more interactive. I want you to be more involved with it. So, all right. I'll see you. I don't even know who Sean Piper is. But all right. So I'll see you all in the Chaitanya Bhagavat reading tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Oh wait, one more thing. Sorry for going on so long. So we're gonna finish, because Chaturmasya begins in exactly 1 month from now. Right now it's 3rd June. Chaturmasya begins 3rd July. So to the day, 1 month. And our reading of the 12th canto is probably going to be like 2 weeks. And so we're going to have 2 weeks, a 2-week gap in between Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavat. So I'm thinking maybe in those 2 weeks we could read, I'm open to suggestions, maybe we could read something small, like either the Jagannath Ratyatra's, when's Ratyatra? Ratyatra's, so maybe we could read Jagannath Ratyatra. That will be in 2 weeks from now. So we'll have completed Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam before Ratyatra, and then we could read that Jagannath Ratyatra book by my Gurudev. Or another idea is we could read The Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Goswami Maharaj. That's another idea. That's because that will be a nice introduction to Chaitanya Bhagavat. He tells a lot of the stories in Chaitanya Bhagavat there. It's such a beautiful book. Both of those books are beautiful, so we'll have to decide between those ones, which one, if we want to, All right, everybody. So we'll discuss this. I also have a WhatsApp group if you're not in it, and we can discuss it in the WhatsApp group if you would like to join that. I'll make a poll in there. And all right, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me, and Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna.